Coming up next on MCN, the McAllen Cable Network, the Development Corporation of McAllen from McAllen City Hall. The Development Corporation appointed by the City Commission is charged with making recommendations on how to use money that's been raised from the half-cent sales tax that was approved by McAllen voters on May the 3rd, 1997. The recommendation is made to the City Commission. They make the final decision. And now, the Development Corporation of McAllen.
Meeting of the McAllen Development Corporation with City Commission for one particular item, and then after that, we'll end the joint meeting and have the special city commission meeting for that. And so the first item is ordinance providing for a budget amendment to purchase a new traffic operations property on Hackberry, right? Okay. And that?
Yes.
It's been negotiated, deals already have been
Yes.
approved for
605, the number that
605?
you see here is 605 plus closing costs and so on. And so that was the authority that was given to the staff, and this is for the property, a property that is in the corner of Bicentennial and Hackberry. And the use would be for a future, well, city-owned property for future traffic operations.
And we don't have that budget, we don't have the construction or the retrofit, we have the,
Yeah, this is just to purchase the property.
Okay.
And so we recommended, staff recommended that we use the Development Corporation to make the purchase.
And Mr. Sid, is that an authorized,
Yes, it
under
is.
Development Corp, it's an authorized activity?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Did they agree to that already?
Yes.
Any other questions or
So
comments?
you've gotta open the meeting for the Development Corp.
Oh, I'm sorry, we opened, I thought I did both. The joint meeting, okay, the meeting with, we have a quorum for the Development Corps, so we are now in session with the Development Corps and our joint meeting. And y'all understand, you haven't been involved in that too much as relates to the use of that particular property and the purchase price and the location. And staff recommends that location as being a little more centralized than we are now. Number one, and number two, in the existing location, I think it was that would help the neighborhood or help that area of town with the city operation in it. I think was the criteria we used, and then the purchase price was negotiated. Do you have any questions on it?
The only. I just had one question on it. Who you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead.
No, I just had a question, Roy, on the budget memo. The 2.942, where is that on the asset number, on our balance sheet? Or is it in, where is that number?
I'll ask Angie to come up, Angie.
No, I'm just asking where that 2.9 is, so we're drawing.
What do you mean where it is? That would be the,
On the development for financial statements.
that would be the estimated fund balance.
And where is it, where would that be?
Well, it wouldn't show it in the financial statements, because the financial statements is an actual expense to date. And that's the number we're giving you for budget.
The 2.9?
Right.
Okay.
But that's before the expenditures, right?
No, that's after.
Yeah, before, then you minus.
Because under revised budget, you had 2.3, so I can only assume.
Right, sorry. Come up, Angie.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, that was basically my question. I don't have a problem purchasing the property or anything like that. I was just trying to figure out where the money was coming from. Because when you look at the statement, it looks like we've kind of overextended ourselves, but I know that we haven't because we have projects that are gonna be dropping off. And so I was just trying to get that clear in my mind as to where the money really is.
Right. It gives the impression that you're overextended because we usually budget on the expense side higher than we've got revenue coming.
Right.
And that's usually because it's projects from the prior year. And so we move the fund balance over and it cures that.
On your balance sheet, the number you're looking at is 2.6, and what the 2.9 represents is that if you exhausted all of your budget at year end, you're anticipated to end at the 2.9 before this budget amendment.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I
confused me
said.
because on this sheet, it had other, $12 million, and I just wondered, that's a lot of, that's what constituted $12 million of other?
Come on up, Sergio.
I thought we'd have a little more detail than other. Sounds like my checkbook.
Three of five, the other categories broken out there, so they'll add up to your budget 12.3.
Okay, so that's what that was. And on the capital outlay land, what was, I know we bought this property, was this in addition to the 5.57 million?
Yes, we haven't paid for those 600 amounts.
Correct.
Was about $5 million of land issue?
Yeah, mainly over at the convention center for
Oh,
Tech
okay,
Park.
I forgot about that, okay, that's right. Okay. Okay, well, actually, so we had 3 items on here, so while we do that, if we want to do the third one was a purchase new traffic operations property for the development corps. Do you want to have a motion to approve that budget amendment?
Make a motion to approve.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. And opposed, okay. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Want to do city commission on that one now? Ken? Okay, city commission, to have a motion to approve the budget amendment and the purchase, authorize the purchase of the traffic operations within the parameters as a recommendation.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. And then for the development corps, we have the
And I'm
minutes.
Sorry, for the record, that includes authority for the mayor to sign a resolution for the purchase. I just need to put that on there.
Okay,
And maybe a title company may request a resolution.
okay, and including the authorization of sign all closing documents as required by the title company. Is that, please let the record reflect that. Then of the minutes for the meetings of February 17th and May 15th. I guess the first one, let's do February 17th first, approval of that.
So moved.
Okay, motion, and I have a second? Second, pretty short. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And then the next one for the joint meeting, right? Held on May 15th with City Commission. I have a motion to approve that. And that dealt with a stimulus package. I thought in there that, didn't we authorize, because we knew we weren't going to meet for another month, we authorized more funding if it ran out? No?
For grants?
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
we did, but it's not in the minutes. So did we or not?
Yes, you did.
Okay, then we should probably reflect it in the minutes if that's what we agreed to.
What was that, Mayor? I didn't- that we didn't-
No.
We had
Basically-
300,000 for the grant, and we were afraid that that would run out almost the same day. And so I thought we authorized the city manager, maybe, I'm not sure how it was, to take some out of 700,000 or do another
No, in
amount.
addition to.
In addition to, which we did, so if we did that, I remember that was part of the motion. And so that
Right.
needs to be reflected in the
That's
minutes
a
here.
good catch, yes, sir. Because I've already
How much did you?
advised the chamber another 200,000.
Okay, so,
Now, I do recall though that we did want data on the round of funding before we started to expand too quickly, too fast. So,
You'll actually have a report. You probably have it today. I already received it from Steve. And I requested it because I told him, go ahead and do another 200.
so if we could.
And we can hold it if you want.
no, I think 200's fine. I think we need to get those grants out,
Yeah.
just kind of see where it's going and.
So if we could, if, in the approval of the minutes under item 1, the second paragraph, we could say that it was up to 300,000 to chamber, and depending on demand, an additional 200,000 prior to the next meeting is authorized. I know we authorized something, I don't remember the amount, but,
There wasn't a number. No,
Okay.
there wasn't a number. And so I didn't want to double it.
well, so the motion should be that we authorized additional
Additional
funds at
funds.
the discretion of the city manager. Okay, with that correction, then I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the joint meeting of May 15, 2020. First by the Development Corps.
So
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. City Commission, do I have a motion for City Commission? Okay. And that's with the addition of authorization for city manager. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. I think, does that do it for the Development Corps?
No, you've got the financial statement.
No, can we just go over them?
Yeah, you
You
did.
guys have any more question on the financial statement, Development Corps on the financial statement? And/or the City Commission, I would guess, right? No, City
just the
Commission just had one item.
Development
Did we get a presentation on that, or?
Yes.
We're just supposed to just kind of go over it ourselves?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think so. I went over, I already asked a couple
Yeah, I did
questions.
too, but
Yeah.
kind of an overview. The financial statements before you are for May 31st, 2020. Page 101 is the balance sheet, which shows the current position of total assets of 11 million. Liabilities of 405,647, with leaving the committed fund balance of 10,608,950. I'll take any questions regarding the balance sheet. The next page is a statement of revenues and expenses for the month ending May 31st, 2020. It's reflective of your amended budget, year-to-date budget, year-to-date actuals. For year-to-date actuals, total revenues are 11.5 million, with expenditures totaling up to 18.5 million, leaving revenues under expenditures of 6.9 million. And following pages will reflect the detail I roll into those specific expenditure revenue categories. So I can answer any questions regarding revenues and expenses.
I have a question. I mean, obviously, we're way down on revenues, right? At some point, do we need to have a mid-year, or, we're right now in the middle, no, yeah. We go back to our calendar, we're 3/4 done with our fiscal year. Do we have to, should we have a meeting to talk about where we're gonna be and what we need to make any adjustments to?
you're gonna have that in this coming city commission meeting.
City Commission meeting?
Yes, sir.
Does the Development Corps need to make recommendations, or how does that work?
We can do both. We can have a development court meeting.
Can we have a joint meeting? Let's do a joint meeting so we can discuss this with both groups.
We need to talk about which projects have been put on hold.
Right,
And we
yeah.
don't- I mean, we don't know about it.
Yeah,
I think we
some,
got a list like last meeting, but I don't think there's a final thing.
yeah, Yeah,
We got a list of stuff that you were thinking of cutting off, right?
Right, and it'll be an actual budget amendment that we usually do sooner, but because of the situation we're in, we've been trying to wait to see if we get some clarity from the county. But it's on the agenda for Monday.
it would be a combination of Development Corps money and general fund money,
Right.
yeah. Okay, so why don't we do a joint meeting with the Development Corps money first? And then, unless there's any spillover relation to general fund monies, then we'll do that afterwards.
Okay.
We're gonna have time to do it in an hour?
You should.
Yeah, I mean, that's, right?
It was actually gonna be part of the regular agenda. We can do it at 4 if you'd like.
Yeah, I think it's easier to discuss things at a workshop on budget like that,
Okay.
yeah. Is it okay with everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it workshop item?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, what budget amendment recommendations for, both for Development Corps and general fund?
Are you gonna be asking for a resolution or amendment at the time, or ordinance?
Yes, it'll be on the regular agenda
Agenda as well.
as an ordinance. Yes, sir.
So at the end of the workshop, the Development Corps could actually vote on, you put that in as agenda item for them to vote on.
Okay.
Is it okay with everybody to do that? I mean, I don't want to stop from asking questions now, but we just kind of got that. I read it over pretty quickly.
Mayor, when are we gonna be looking at the agencies' requests for the coming fiscal year that fall under Development Corps?
Yeah, I mean, we could. I didn't see in any Roy's recommendations that agencies would have been cut, is there?
Not at this point.
But I think a report, why don't we ask all the agencies to report where they are fiscally?
Well, but the applications are already coming in, right?
Right, but we're about a month from that happening. We just started the, yeah, we just started the,
Yeah,
we just started the budget process last week.
yeah, I would guess we let the agencies know what changes are gonna make this next fiscal year in relationship to that, but there's been no recommendation to cut any agencies in this budget. I mean, it could happen next week, but at least that's not your recommendation at this point.
Right.
Okay? Okay, so then, without any further questions, then we would adjourn the Development Corps meeting. And so we'll stand adjourned. Okay, anybody any questions or comments? No? We'll stand adjourned. And then that's the end of the joint meeting. Now, we have the City Commission meeting to consider an action regarding the approval of the sub-recipient agreement between the City of McAllen in the county of Hidalgo relating to CARES funding.
Mayor, I'd just point out, for whatever order you want to do this, it's also my recommendation that we have an executive session to discuss certain aspects of the CARES Act, whichever order you want to do that.
Could I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Before we stopped it, we saw a proposed, filing, I think, of our expenses. Is that, that's authorized to be discussed
Yes,
under
sir.
this item
Yes, sir.
regarding approval of stuff? Okay. Okay, you want to go in executive session first?
Yes, sir. It's attorney-client privilege under 551-071. It's eligible for executive session. If it's the commission's desire to do so, recommend you entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go in executive session under advice of the city attorney. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We'll go in executive session, so we'll zoom out. We're not in yet, and ask, do you want to go in, or here?
Approve the interlocal
And
agreement.
then the budget attached to it.
Yeah, so I suggest we vote on the
Interlocal agreement
interlocal
first?
first.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept and approve.
Got a motion? There's a second? JJ seconded?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion?
This is only on the agreement, not on the budget?
Right.
Correct.
Right.
That's it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, raise your hand. Motion carried.
And on the budget, there was a proposal by the city manager.
Right, so on the budget, which I'm gonna ask that you include in your motion, that can be amended if we need to change it moving forward, is that we submit an initial application, as we expend it in the amount of $43,168,000 for public safety and public health. Other estimated expenses that we've already either realized or projected in the amount of $5,700,294. An initial investment in Wi-Fi of $2,560,634, which can be expanded if the city commission decides to do that. An amount of $2 million for grants, and an amount of $1 million for rent and mortgage assistance.
And the 2 million grants is for businesses, which could include rental assistance, right? And the other one is for for residences, the rental and mortgage assistance.
And in both of those latter cases, for the record, those would be people impacted by the pandemic.
Right.
I'll make a motion to approve as recited by the city manager.
Second.
A motion, second discussion.
Mayor, just a quick comment. I understand that the city's budget that we've devised is somewhat limited in that, we have a great need. I'm not 100% comfortable with the budget, the way we are presenting it as it compares to the CARES Act and the documents that I've read. There are some things in the budget that, I think are definitely eligible, like some that may or may not be. And it's part of the ambiguity of the documents that we've been given, especially from the federal government. They keep coming out with these FAQs and which we've all read, but some of them are contradictory, as you know. And so I just thought I'd comment my concern.
I appreciate that. I wish it was clear what they're doing. I wish we wouldn't have artificial timelines, which you could leave a lot of money on the table. And I'm kind of relying on some of the calls I've had with the governmental office at the White House, which is both contradictory and explanatory. And so I appreciate what you're saying, and I think the best thing we can do is make sure that we get all the money that we can, and then expend it and make decisions and budget changes that we need to address the real needs of our citizens.
Well, Mayor, and then the next concern I have is, as a landlord, I have several tenants that owe me money. The concern is they could possibly go get a grant, pay me, and still go under. So by doing this, my concern is that we may be tossing out a lot of money on both the mortgage and the grants.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, but if we don't risk something, we haven't gone through this ever, and we're not finished with it yet. I mean, another thing is, for people, since we're talking about it, we need to be smart, so we can open up all the way. And even though people are open, there's a lot of people that don't want to go out to a movie or dinner or anything else, because they're still concerned with exposure to this virus. So at any rate, we're all dealing with something we haven't dealt with before, and I appreciate it, and I wish we had more guidance, and lack of artificial timelines and all the rest of those things. But if we do nothing, we won't get any money. And if we don't put a budget in there that's appropriately funded, we'll lose out too. Okay, anything else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, are you for or against?
Against.
You're against? Okay, I'm for. 3-2? Okay, thank you. And that's any other further business? We stand
it.
adjourned.